Here are my power rankings for week 8. They're not all that different from week 7. I think I have the same exact top 10 teams. I just liked my teams last time. I think like a notable absence, I think my only one I'd really consider a notable absence is probably, actually maybe two. I don't have the Broncos. I just don't completely buy it. Like those close games are a little too close and they don't totally pass the eye test to me for most of some of these games. And then the other team is the 49ers. Man, they are still good, but I feel like the shoe will drop soon. I feel like you can only have so many injuries, but maybe I'm crazy and they deserve to be here. But there's too many good teams. I don't think there's anybody I could take out for them. So without further ado, number 10, I got the Packers. They're number 1 in the NFC, right? So a lot of people have them really high. They definitely should be in the top 10. Just, man, these are some really close games when I really, coming into the season, had that number 1 and expected them to win a lot of these games. If you compare it to my next team, the Eagles, who I feel like head to head, the Eagles would take this one. They've just, yes, they had those weird losses, but they're not almost losing to like the Browns. I mean, they did lose to the Browns, the Packers. They're not almost losing to the Bengals. They're almost losing to the Cardinals. Like, they beat the Vikings pretty handily. They looked like the better team. So as of right now, I think the Eagles are better. I think if they played in the playoffs, I would pick the Eagles any day of the week. So yeah. And it's crazy, by the way. I had those teams way higher. But anyway, number 8 at the beginning. Number 8, I have the Patriots, who I never thought I'd have on this list, but they look incredible. And I think they would. They could even be higher. And I'm keeping them at 8. They had a big win. I couldn't move them higher. That's why I had the equal sign. They look great. They're rolling. Drake May might win MVP. Number 7, I got the Rams down a spot despite the win, and you'll see why soon, who I had to move ahead of them. But, man, if I could like all these teams are like in the same spot for me. They're like so close. But if you I gotta rank them. And the teams I have ahead I think are just better. Like the Seahawks, who I still have one spot ahead. And they look great. I mean, I believe in the Seahawks team. Sam Darnold looks amazing. I just think they're getting better. I don't know. They look good. I like them. I'm a believer in what Seattle's doing. Number 5, I have the Colts, who I had to move up this week. I mean, they're obviously a top 5 team. They easily could be undefeated right now. They look like a monster. The whole offense, the whole roster. They're super good. But they're all interchangeable. The Colts, the Seahawks, the Rams, the Patriots. Really, any of those. You could argue for 5th, I feel like. 4, I'm still going to have the Bills here. I know they've been shaky. I'm not going to move them after a bye. I believe in Josh Allen. I think the Bills could easily still win the AFC. I think it's ridiculous to count them out. They have a get-right game this week against Carolina, and I think they're going to take it pretty handily. Yeah, I would take, and maybe that might be one of my picks today, picking the Bills to cover. But yeah, the Buccaneers down 2 spots, but I still think they're a top 3 team. Look, Baker is still incredible. They're going to have like hiccups, especially against a really good Lions team. But I'm not pressing the panic button yet. Speaking of the Lions, moving up ahead of the Bucks. Obviously, they're amazing. They're really good. And then number 1, the Chiefs, I think are the best team in the league. I don't really care about their record. They're great. I know they're 4-3. They're great. They are a buzzsaw. I would take them to beat anybody right now if I had to bet. Yeah. Moving on, I have my my tier lists, so you can kind of see where my thought process is. So I think, yeah, those top 4 teams are my picks for the Super Bowl. Like, any combination of those 4, I think are the most likely Super Bowl matchups right now. You could see that I kind of do have all those guys in the same tier. They're all pretty close. My number 5 through 11, including the Broncos. 49ers I have in B. Maybe I could put them up in A, but man, I don't know. I'm nervous about those injuries. I wouldn't be surprised if they randomly get blown out next week. Like, it's just, it feels like it has, there's just, I mean, players play games and it can't last forever. The Steelers, I'm a total non-believer. Yeah, I don't believe it. I just don't think they're going to do that good. I think they'll make the playoffs at like 9-8 and then lose in the first game. Sorry, Steelers fans. I just feel like that happens every year. And I've seen this story before. I remember when they were like 9-0 and then they went like 9 and they lost like a bunch of games in a row. Yeah, I don't buy it. The Bears I have moving up to B tier from C tier from last week. Yeah, the Bears look real. Panthers, you could even argue, should be moved up too. But the Bears look good. I love what Ben Johnson's doing. I think, who knows if they make the playoffs this year, but they are a year ahead. Right, next year is when they have to be good. because it'll be Ben Johnson second year, Caleb Williams third. So they're ahead of schedule. Jaguars, I kind of even want to move them down. They are ugly right now. And the Chargers, I know I'm recording this a day late, and the Chargers just went berserk on Thursday night. Really, I should have got this video out 2 days ago, but man, I love the Chargers. I love what they're doing. Obviously, next week they'll probably get moved up after that performance. And yeah, everything else is pretty similar, pretty much the same. Yeah. So for my picks for this week, last week I went 2-3, not not great. My Buccaneers prediction that I was really confident in was obviously very wrong, but I'm just a believer. Like, I don't know. If you gave me those same odds this week, I would take it, but who knows? I guess Vegas knew what they were talking about. Anyway, my first pick, aforementioned Buffalo -7.5 against Carolina. I would take this at 9.5. Like, Andy Dalton's playing. I would take this at 9.5, 10.5. I think it's gonna be a major blowout. Yeah, this is too low for me. They're gonna win by more than a touchdown. If I'm wrong, whatever. But yeah, this Panthers team looks pretty good. But eventually, Josh Allen's gonna Josh Allen again. Like we've seen it too many times. Number 2, I'm taking the over in Chicago-Baltimore. Look, Lamar against the Chicago defense, Caleb Williams against that awful Baltimore defense. This screams shutout to me. Shootout. Maybe Baltimore will run the ball a lot, and it'll get over quickly. But nah. There's no shot this doesn't go 50, right? Like 27-24 is the lowest I could see this going. So I'm taking the over. Tampa Bay -4.5 against New Orleans. Yeah, I'm betting on the Bucs again. I feel like this is a disrespectful spread. I can't imagine them winning by less than a touchdown. This New Orleans team sucks. Like, the Buccaneers are by everyone's standards a top 5 team, and the Saints are by everyone's standards a bottom 5 team. Like, 4.5, that makes no sense to me. And then this one, I think, is maybe more of a crazy pick, but I think the Cowboys are a lot better than their record, and I think the Broncos are worse than their record. I think these teams are closer together than people might think. And yeah, with CeeDee Lamb back, I think the Broncos defense looked very human last week against the Giants. I think this one could be closer. I think the Cowboys could even take it. So I would not be surprised if the Cowboys won next week. And my last pick, I have Green Bay and the Steelers over 44.5. Just again, I think it has shootout potential, especially after the Steelers got in a shootout with the Bengals last week. Yeah, could be cool. If it's not a shootout, I think Green Bay blows them out, and the score is like 30-14. But yeah, those are my picks. We'll see how good I do. But anyway, thanks for watching if you got this far, and let me know what you think about my rankings, my tier list, my picks in the comments.